All right. I'm now trying to do this on my own. So let's see what kind of chat gets going here. You can submit questions either on the Twitter at Colin Etnire, which is probably how you found this, or you can go into the subreddit in the post-match thread. I think that I dropped a little note there. So send them along. So anyway, Real Sociedad tonight, we caught them after their season. They just finished, I think it was 8th or 9th in La Liga, so not quite to the point where they get European football, but like definitely one of the better teams in La Liga. But it's well after their season. The one thing that Esteban Granero, one of their big star players, will Quakes win La Liga? That's true. One of the things we were joking about in the press box, by the way, is that Chris Wondolowski now has a record of 2 goals against La Liga teams, but he has not scored against the other 19 teams, so he has a lot of ground to make up there compared to where he's at on his MLS list, which, by the way, now includes 20 teams, including the now defunct Chivas USA. So yeah, he's got a little way to go in La Liga, but I think the Quakes would have hung in there. I was like half the way towards asking Esteban Granero if the Quakes would get relegated in La Liga. My impression is that they probably would, and it was so obvious that, maybe not. Okay, anyway, let the questions come in. They do go away, so, just keep badgering me if I'm not answering them. The first one there about Innocent and Carlos Vela. Innocent, not training. That's not a good sign, obviously, but supposedly it's an ankle issue that doesn't require surgery or anything of the like. Carlos Vela, on the other hand, wildly popular Mexican star, and I was talking to some of the Sociedad guys, and one of the things that they said, and one of the things Dave Cavill said was, that Vela gets a different level of reception than a guy like Giovanni Dos Santos. Because Giovanni Dos Santos comes from Brazilian heritage and spent a lot of his life in the United States and abroad, and so Mexicans don't really see him as one of their own, whereas Carlos Vela, on the other hand, is Mexican through and through. So they, L3 fans are passionate about Carlos Vela. He's a real hero to them. So, by the way, everyone knows this. I was one of the main haters on the Vela to SJ train, not because I didn't like him necessarily, but because I didn't see the fit. I learned tonight that they definitely looked into it. I was not expecting to hear that. I thought that the league had kind of felt him out for a response and that he hadn't basically reciprocated, and I think that's still true. But supposedly the Quakes specifically tried to gauge his interest and put in, at least get an idea of what his number was at. So apparently the team at least looked at it. I still don't think it was anywhere close to being something that actually would have happened. The other half of that question, a couple of you talked about Innocent so far, that's something that I like the fact that that Carlos Vela and Adam John are on the same one. There's something on my head. Yeah, that's something on my head's hair. I got a full head of hair. Behind me, though, Avaya Stadium, as it was. So anyway, Innocent is not training, ankle injury, no surgery. I don't know what his long-term fit is on this team. It doesn't seem like he fits positionally. It doesn't seem like he fits as a designated player. For the money he's making, none of that. So, yeah, sell him to China or somebody. But it's not working out right now. Let's see. Is there anything else we got there? Oh, Cordell Cato. Cordell Cato looked great tonight. Frisky out on the field. He's been training for a couple weeks now, so we knew he was on the way back. And so, I'm not surprised to see him back out here. But he is definitely, he looked frisky. He had a couple nice pieces of ball control. He's quick, and that's something that the Quakes don't always have, is a quick winger. Dawkins and MPG are both nice technically astute guys, but neither of them are burners, and that does help open up the pitch. Let's see. As for the game, the game this weekend, that is a really good question. I've been talking to some of my LA reporter friends, and they think their team is shaping up a little bit better than it did last season, and I have to agree with them. I think that's a good team down there. There's some like weird injury stuff. The injury report has almost no names on it in LA, but there's a couple like weird kind of rumory things about Nigel de Jong actually being injured still, and so that might be something that would keep him out, and that to me would actually ruin LA Galaxy's shape because de Jong is, you know, he's a badass. He's an enforcer, and I hate him too, believe me. But he is really important for them to keep their shape. Who they would have in exchange would be like Baggio Husidic, who really just doesn't scare me, comparatively speaking. But I do think that they have like a stacked roster, and I think that this new system that Bruce Arena is running is starting to get more out of those big DP dudes than before. I just think they're too good for San Jose right now. And I think San Jose is way too short-handed. You know, Clarence Goodson's not going to play. Clarence Amarikwa is not going to play. Andres Imperiale is not going to play. Innocent's not going to play. You know, another half dozen of them. 5 midfielders. That's a good question. Let's see. It could happen. I think that the 5 midfielders thing is a real possibility. Clay sort of trained recently. There's different degrees of training. There's running around on the side, no cleats, you know, doing athletic work but not actually playing the ball or doing any soccer work. That's where he's at right now. The next level is like getting the cleats on and doing a little bit more cutting and moving around, or maybe playing the ball in non-contact, non-live situations. But then beyond that is like live situations. Clay is at the very first rung of those things, so I would expect him to be far away still. Cordell, for example, has been in training, in the full training, like contact training, for at least a week now. So, you know, it takes a week or two of full training to get there. Innocent has not been training lately. He was not training yesterday, nor was Quincy. And I would expect both of them to be out at this weekend as well. I think Quincy's was just a traditional hamstring strain that will be like a 4-weeker overall. And Imperiale, we talked to Dom tonight, and he said something along the lines of it's a race against time that he's probably going to lose by the weekend. So I would expect Imperiale, Innocent, Quincy, Goodson, they're all gone. Jordan Stewart's back, but, you know, that's it. I would love some man bun back, too. I personally don't think I could rock one. I got a little bit of poofy hair going on. Let's see. We didn't talk to that many Real players. Only a couple of them have good English, and they prefer, you know, not doing a translated press conference. But Esteban Granero came out. He's played in England a little bit, so he has pretty good English. They asked him some questions in Spanish as well. Granero said that, yeah, he liked being in California, liked being in the U.S., but, you know, that was it. It was like very, very plain sort of reception. Vela didn't want to come out and talk to us. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. To be honest, if I'm being totally honest with you, it looks like they really just wanted to bail. They were like, we've already had our full season. This is the end of their season. After it's over, it just seemed like they were like, we're tired. You know, we're playing these things because, you know, the club wants the money and it's a good marketing opportunity. And, you know, they're going to Google and doing some other weird shit. But, you know, they don't want to be here, to be perfectly honest with you. None of the footballers are ever going to want to play postseason tours. Those are pure marketing. Yeah, if anybody has not been to a game in Turkey, Turkey is some hostile shit. I mean, it's like burn down the stadiums level shit. I heard that there was like a wheelchair basketball game between Galatasaray and Besiktas in Germany that got like a riot going in the stands between those two fan bases, and that's how you know you've made it as a fan base when you're rioting over wheelchair basketball. Yeah, I'd burn down SubHub. I'm still like 50-50 planning on going to the game in LA. It would be a good excuse to go. I used to live in LA for a while. It would be a good excuse to see my people. But the Mercury News is not sending me as a reporter, so I won't get paid to do so. And, you know, depends on whether or not it's worth it. Maybe I could use my Alaska Airlines voucher, but apparently the restrictions on that were so significant that it's basically not worth the paper it's printed on, so probably not. And if I'm not here, though, or if I'm not in LA, I'll be here, Santa Clara, Golden State Brewery, watch party. That'll be where it's at. Obviously, throw in any questions you have. I don't know. I think that I covered most of the injury updates. Anything else? Yeah, well, drones with flags on them have a checkered history in modern football. I think anybody who watched the Serbia match in which the Albanian flag came in was suitably set off. Yeah, Mateo Silva looked fine. I didn't notice him much. He had one nice hook slide on Xavier Prieto on the end line in the box, and it looked weirdly similar to the tackle he had on Clint Dempsey to deprive the man of the ball. I thought, it's a nice form tackle. Actually, you know what? This is an important update. Mateo Silva, in that last play before the first half ended, where he went up, as did Brian Meredith, and I believe Xavier Prieto as well. They clashed heads, and Silva went off. And at that point, the team doctor said, don't put him back on the field. We've had no update about how long that will be, but I think it's possible that because of concussion protocol, he'll be out for the weekend. So that's the new injury. So in addition to the entire huge boat of injuries that you've seen everywhere else, Mateo Silva as well. Who is fit is a good question. At center back, by the way, I have no idea who the hell they're going to play. I'm assuming it's going to be Sarkodie and Wynn and Muma and Francis at the weekend. Playoffs, yeah, I think this is a playoff team. Yeah, I think it's a playoff team, no doubt. I think it's probably like a fifth place in the team, a fifth place in the West kind of team. I think they'll make the playoffs. Oh yeah, Sarkodie did not look good today, but he's looked pretty good in the last couple games that were live competitive matches. So I'm kind of willing to give him the benefit of a doubt of a glorified exhibition match. Like the pace of this game was very, very slow. There was very low intensity. So if Sarkodie looks crappy, then whatever. I actually ran into Kofi Sarkodie in a Staples the other day. I was buying an adult coloring book though, so I did not say hi. I thought it would be weird. Turns out those things are awesome. Highly recommend. Matias today, I don't know, he held on to the ball well. He got a lot of time on it, which is Matias Perez Garcia's #1 most favorite thing in the world. So, he looked fine doing it. He picked out like one or two nice passes, but, it didn't wow me. But look, you can't see anything. Dude, I would buy a coloring book of Wando, but a Wando coloring book would just be like Wando Intense Face for like 80 pages. Quakes would finish top 4 in La Liga. Bold. I think the Quakes would struggle to stick in the second division of Spain. That is my hot take opinion. Partially because the second division of Spain is pretty good. Tommy, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I bet he'll get a substitute appearance, but I don't think he'll start. It doesn't seem to me like starting. I don't think that Dom sees him as a starter right now. I think that he's still developing as a player. He's still a 20-year-old. Most clubs in the world don't lean on 20-year-olds if they can avoid it. And he's just not. He's not like that world-changing player. I agree with Ene, who just posted that Godoy and Fatai will start. That's a lot more solidity in the midfield. And when you're going up against a team like Galaxy that has 20 million attacking options, you want more defensive midfielders. I don't know if he would jump forward leaps and bounds just by playing more. He's actually been playing a lot. Last season he got 500 minutes, which is not much, but it's some. And I think this season he's already had 3 starts, a couple of experiences. He's gone to Sacramento a couple times. He's got this exhibition. I think he's got enough game time to get game time. I think that the question, I don't know. I think it's going to be a matter of months and years before he develops rather than weeks. Same lineup as the Houston match is very much a possibility. Absolutely. I think Chad Barrett has not done enough to show that he could displace Simon Dawkins as like the false 9 that Dawkins was last match. Ditto Adam John. Dude, Adam John, oof, tonight. Brutal. Alberto Quintero looked good, yeah. I mean, again, he only had a little bit of time on the field. Yeah, Adam John was horrible. Absolutely. Bold that we have 2 John lovers. Was not expecting that. The coming months moves, yeah, I bet there's going to be movement over the summer. I don't know specifically what though. I haven't heard like I heard one specific rumor, but that one specific rumor is one that they denied pretty specifically. So John should not be traded because he has no trade value. MLS is weird for trades. I think if you're going to move him on, just decline his option at the end of the season and be done with it. He's on a minimum contract, so there's not much there. The one specific rumor I heard was a striker, a relatively young European striker who was kind of on the outs of his team, but it's a good team. So that's the one, and actually that makes sense to me. I would like right now. I think that Dom only trusts two strikers, Wando and Quincy, and I think he wants another one. It was not Luis Suarez. It's a much more obscure name than that. Although I will say, Dominic Kinnear knew exactly who I was talking about, despite the obscurity of the name. So I think that they're probably scouting him. So if you see a 6'4" striker from a top European side come over, like a guy who's not really in the first team, that'll be it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you'd have any transfer value either. When I say young, I mean like 23. So yeah, Will Grigg age-ish, but not Will Grigg. That's good. It's a good shout, though. 2 years. That means this year through the end and next year through the end, guaranteed. But no. He'll be back in a couple weeks, I don't know. I mean, he's been around the facility, but he has not done any training live on the field for a while. Probably be a month or two before he's back. Good one. I don't know exactly. I mean, I agree with you that the left back seems to be a rotating carousel of sorts, and I think that it would be nice to have another striker that Dom trusts. Take me some Charlie Austin. Did he get any playing time at Southampton? I don't remember, because I know he transferred over in the winter window, but fucking TV went on. Give me a second. Innocent did come last year. It was a 3-year contract overall. So, and DP contracts are guaranteed, as far as I can tell. I mean, look, you can play the striker guessing game, but it was pretty categorically shot down by Dom. I'm not saying that he was necessarily telling me the truth, but I would not expect it to be anything to come of it. From people who I talked to who watched the Arizona United game, it did not appear that he played all that well at left back, but that doesn't surprise me because he's not particularly fast, he's not left-footed, and he doesn't play left back. So, handsome man to my right. Handsome man to my right. Well, my right is Sam Benavidez, right over there. Quakes social media guy in the next box over. Dude, Xherdan Shaqiri would be a real coup. I'm talking aim a lot lower than that. Throwing it down. Talking about a big target striker who didn't quite pan out at a top tier club. Boyan is a much better guess. It's not him, but I'm just saying it's more of like that kind of guy. Crouchy. Dude, first of all, I love you, Ane, for putting top tier in quotes. It is absolutely a top tier in air quotes team. Dude, if Crouchy wanted to come over to MLS, I would personally subsidize his salary. I'm Spurs to my hardcore, so I would pay for Crouchy over here. He would also be amazing. He'd be a great interview, and he would be perfect for Dom ball. Just camp out, win aerials. All 6'9" of them. Dimitar Berbatov is probably my favorite soccer player who is also a smoker. And a terrible fit for Dom, by the way. John, maybe. Tommy, No. Tommy still has value, still has upside. Zlatan, yeah. I'd take him in a heartbeat. MLS would take him in a heartbeat. MLS would do anything to get Zlatan Ibrahimovic over here. I have no idea where he would go, though. I would imagine, though, it would be one of the kind of she premier markets where he could be the guy. It's unclear to me where that would be, though. No, it's not Benteke. Come on now. Miami, yeah. If Miami was playing, I'm assuming you're not talking about Miami FC, the NASL club. Oh my God, yeah, they'd love Tommy up there. But look, Tommy's 20 years old. You guys need to take a deep breath on this one. Most 20-year-olds do not pan out. Usually takes a while. Radamel Falcao. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's it. You got it. Just to be clear, Falcao would not start on this team. When you say Ronaldo, by the way, you mean like Brazilian Ronaldo? And in that case, maybe. I saw Sherrod tonight. I saw Sherrod hanging around and walking around. I mean, he had surgery and, I don't know. Raul's retired. Come on, don't make that guy come out of retirement. I would love a left back. I'd be totally down for that. I think that that's a mess of a position. Sean Francis is a totally fine backup, but you need to have somebody better. We've been over the Lenny thing. Can people stop asking about the Lenny thing? Please. Please, he's done. Which Moreno? There's a lot of Morenos. Alberto Moreno? Yeah, no, not that. Actually, you know what? He'd be pretty good in MLS, I think. Yeah. Bienvenidos, Alberto. Niasi's no longer with the team. They haven't told us why or what, but he's no longer with the team. Hasn't been for a month or two. 2 months, probably. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news for the Son of Niasi lobby out there. I liked him. He was a nice guy. People seem to like him, but I didn't look like he fit into the picture as a wide guy. I think that he's better off in a slightly lower level of play as being the guy rather than kind of like a facilitating part in a bigger picture. How do I get my scoops? Step one, go to training for, consistently for a year or two until you know people and then people tell you things. Two, I work with Robert Jonas in real life, and that dude is OG. He knows everything about the Quakes. He tells me shit all the time that I'm not even allowed to say. Robert Jonas is the man. And I'm just more like social media savvy than he is, so you hear it from me rather than him. So yeah, Robert Jonas, hang around the facility and build relationships. There's nothing weird about like reporting, by the way. You just talk to people and find stuff out. But yeah, Robert's awesome, unreservedly. I'll answer the Lenny one, then Euros. Lenny, he is not on the roster in any official, or he's on the season-ending injury list, which means that he is not part of the active 28. He can be replaced on the 28 at any time, and he is not on the salary budget because of the fact that his salary falls in a specific window of salaries from $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I would not be surprised if his contract in 2015 was negotiated to be in that window for that reason. There are some complications there that I'm not yet able to publicly report, but he's not on the salary budget and not on the active roster as far as I know. I think that they have the roster spot in the salary. For Euros, I don't know, man. I don't really have a dog in this fight. My dad's family's English, so but I don't care, I don't really care about England. Yeah, I don't know. I find it hard to root for them. Although there's going to be a lot of Tottenham players playing for England, so, maybe I will. Maybe I'll root for England. They're not going to win Euros, though. I think, so Belgium's good. France is sick. France is dirty, and they're, hosting it. So, France is the good bunny. I'd go with that. Belgium is always kind of going to be in the picture, and if you want my super long shot, Cymru, Wales, or one of the other home countries. All right, things are starting to dry up here, and it's 11 o'clock. So send in your last couple, and I will take them and then sign off. Pep Guardiola will never coach in San Jose. Confident prediction. Favorite soup. All right, this is like a dead rubber for me between miso and French onion. I'm going to go with French onion. Pho is number 3. Leandro Ojoa from Leicester City? No. Again, this is a guy who has not quite made it at a top-tier team. Lassina Traore. That's not a bad guess. I kind of like that one. Yeah, fuck Jamie Vardy, right? Oh, All-Star team. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about the All-Star team. It's like a weird game. It's not... Danny Drinkwater is not a striker. Don't even give me that. Wilfried Boney did make it in the Premier League for a while, just not with Manchester City. And Harry Kane is a golden god walking on water, so obviously not. He's one of our own. But the All-Star game is like such a weird... Bas Dost. God, this is like such an obscure list. I love this. No one's come... I'm being serious that no one has guessed it yet, but I'm thrilled at all the like obscure striker references. The All-Star game is super weird because it's a team, an MLS that never plays together, and it's a team against it that always plays together but is out of season. Yeah. Pato. I would take Pato. And you know who else would take Pato is Quakes Brazil. He would take Pato for Sharks. Bebe is not a striker. I thought he was a winger. Which Llorente? Fernando Llorente? Also Ramos? No. The Colombian? No. I'm assuming Fernando Llorente. Or Llorente. The Basque one. God, this is fun. I like this. So, to be clear, I got a tip that strongly indicated a couple things about the player. I used my detective skills. It's not Zhubia, that's the Russian guy? Yeah, no. And yeah, funny, Marco Royce. I used my detectiving to take the piece of information that I thought I knew for sure, and then I landed on a player. When I landed on the player that I thought made the most sense, given those pieces of information, I took it to Dom. Dom was like, nah, not going to hear it. But he knew exactly who the guy was. Age, height, playing career, all that. Let's see. Pato, no, you don't want Pato. You don't know if he's ever going to play at a high level again. Carlos Vela's not really a striker. I'm talking like a big Dom striker, like a number 9, 6'4", big dude. Oh, I'm not going to give you that. It makes it too easy. Nicholas Bentner is, first of all, fuck Bentner. No way. Not that it's up to me, but no, that would not be my game. This is way too fun for me. It's going to be disappointing, though, because even when you find out the name, the truth is it's not going to happen because it was a deal that didn't happen. My guess is that they scouted him and it just didn't work out. But maybe, I don't know. What's he rated on FIFA? I don't know, but it's not super good. Probably like low 70s, high 60s. Kiesling? I mean, it's not him, but no. Chicharito is rated in the 80s and is not tall. And also would never in a million years play in San Jose. Bufuma, is that the guy who plays in France? I don't know him personally. I don't know Mark Janko or Yanko. All right. Kolo Toure, man of the hour, and Ney coming back. Now, I'm not giving the league, and it's not Zlatan. All right. This could be something we can regain in our next Periscope chat. Are there any questions that don't have to do? I don't even know what hearts are. I just see hearts popping up in the corner of my screen. Giroud. Olivier Giroud. Dom is not doing the scouting. Doyle is not doing the scouting. They actually have this dude named Vasily who is now their scouting coordinator, and they have somebody's like streaming hella hearts at me. What is this? What do the hearts do? Do they function as anything? No, it doesn't matter. Lychee is the technical director. There's this dude named Vasily who does the scouting coordination, and they are the guys kind of out in the field. JD is like a I don't know, like more of a traditional GM, like cutting deals and getting deals across the line. Yeah, I could be just making this up. Like literally, it's a thing that. All right, Quakes Brazil. Quakes Brazil. Announce it to the world. You heard it there first. Good man. Eventually, you got there. Um, so, just to be clear, I was explicitly told this was not a thing. But yeah, nice. Eventually. So, by the way, I think that when people watch this on the replay, they won't be able to hear whose name it actually is. So, I won't even have announced it. So, leave it up to Quakes Brazil to spread it on his own. But yeah, 6'4" dude. He's 23 years old. Look him up. It's not happening, but I'm pretty sure that we at least looked into it. Oh, yeah, it's not happening, so you shouldn't be upset. Or at least it's not happening. It wasn't happening in this cycle. He switched his loan from one place to another. So, and in that period of time, the Quakes did not snag him. Guess the left back next time. Absolutely. Hopefully not. This was wildly fun. I loved this. How did you guys not jump on the fact that like they actually tried to get Carlos Vela? Or at least looked into it. How was that not the headline here? It was instead you guys pursuing an obscure guy who didn't quite make it at first tier club. Killing me. New money, indeed. All right. I assume that that will be the last of the questions tonight, yeah? Well, Vela's not coming. We know he's not coming, but it was interesting to me that at least that it reached out. I know the league had reached out for sure. I just didn't know the club had. No, it's not happening. Not happening. He likes it in Europe. He likes it at Sociedad. He came and left. One of the ball boys after the game, by the way, ran up to him and gave him a big hug. It's hilarious. Yeah, probably. Or at least that's my guess. All right. Okay, now we've finally moved on behind all that nonsense. Three final questions. Number three will be innocent. I don't think that he's in the right head place for this club. That doesn't mean the right head place for soccer. It just means that he might not be a good fit here. This is a very working class attitude of a team. And players who come out of the North American and Central American systems aren't treated like superstars from birth necessarily. They're not they don't get to come through the posh European academies. Innocent is the only one who came through a fancy European academy, and so I think that he had a different life experience coming up than the South American, Central American, and North American players. So I think that there might be a cultural misfit there, but this is me prognosticating. It just doesn't seem like. It also just doesn't seem like he's tight with dudes on the team in the same way. There's a gap there. Let's put it that way. All right. Two more. Thoughts on the nation of Peru? I don't know. I really like their food, but I've never been there, and I love Inca Cola. Wondowski making the Copa squad. 60% is where I put it right now. Oh, actually, you know what? I take that back. Chris said something tonight that made it seem like he knew that he was not coming to the Copa squad. but I don't know, maybe. All right, folks, I'm out. After games that are home games, I will have a much more ability to like have a person who actually is like there asking me questions, so it'll be intelligible upon replay. So, you're done with all your questions. Favorite play interview, Simon Dawkins was great. Everybody should go back and listen to my interview with Simon at the beginning of the year. But anyway, next home game, I have no idea what it even is, but I'll try to do this, and Nay will be my cameraman, and he'll set me up with questions. All right, love you too, fam. Stay strong. Peace.